This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Arti. Arti only. You have only this name, or you have something added to it?
No, sir. Since my 10th class, my name is only Arti.
Oh.
Because in documents it was like this only.
Oh, that's good. There was a movement to remove surnames, which basically reveal your caste affiliations. So there was in 50s and 60s. There at that time nobody was asking caste. Now they have caste-based political parties. So that is a different. Things have changed. Anyways, so you have. You had zoology as a subject, and zoology is in mains also. You have taken as a.
Yes.
That's good. You come from Haryana. Haryana, what is the incidence of child marriage? Where you stand?
Sir, in the past, child marriages were common in Haryana, but of lately, the number has reduced of child marriages because of strict acts as well as awareness amongst people.
Or the girl child is now hardly available?
Sir, that is not the main reason behind the decline in child marriage. I think it is the awareness that has been created amongst the people that has led to the decline.
So you know what are the way awareness was done. Now people say that the child marriage is very common in Assam, Haryana. Suppose you were given an opportunity to make suggestions or strategies for, say, Rajasthan as to how to tackle child marriage problem. What are the measures you will be suggesting?
Sir, I think firstly, the need is of awareness that child marriage is a crime. Many people or many communities are there, especially in tribal areas, who are not even aware of the fact that child marriage is a crime. So that is one factor that we could take forward, that creating awareness.
No, what was done in Rajasthan, in Haryana, from that point of view, you have to tell.
From the point of view.
What was done here and what should be done there?
Like what should be done in Haryana and what should be done in
How Haryana experiment can be replicated there, maybe.
So I think the government has a very active role in creating awareness. For example, the programs like Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao has a very...
It is there all over the country.
Yes, sir, but the push that has been seen in Haryana...
So that is what we want to know, exactly what push and how it was done.
So from the school level, I think we could start. The children, the girl students who are in school, first of all, they must be motivated to fight at their homes that yes, they want education, they want career in life. And then we could move to the family level.
How it was done, tell me. Could be or should be is not a question. How it was done in Haryana and how it...
In Haryana, it was done by the use of various scholarships and incentivization was done. For example, the Haryana government provides scholarship to girls' child, and also they create bank accounts in the name of girl child, which could be, the money could be withdrawn only after they turn 18. So I think monetary assistance was one thing that was done by Haryana government that could be replicated elsewhere.
So monitoring assistance and education, that is what you think will change?
Yes, sir. These two factors are there. Apart from that, like showing that girls are doing very great in various fields, showing real life examples in the terms of players, scientists or women civil servants. I think these things will create a positive mindset in the mind of families and parents. Yes, that we should support our girl child to pursue an education and to delay their marriages.
Okay.
Arti, you are from Rewari, right?
Yes, sir.
What Rewari is famous for?
Sir, in Rewari is famous for as being the brass city of Haryana. It is also called as Pital Nagari. And apart from that, it has been the city of 𝐂𝐻𝐴𝐻𝐿 Vikramaditya, Raja 𝐂𝐻𝐴𝐻𝐿 Vikramaditya. And these two are the main thing that it is famous for, sir.
Okay, now recently our Prime Minister has inaugurated this expressway, Delhi-Mumbai Expressway.
Yes, sir.
Now there is another expressway that's called Yamuna Expressway. Then we have got Nagpur-Mumbai Expressway. So if you just take an example of Nagpur-Mumbai Expressway, for 700 kilometers, government is going to spend 55,000 crores. On one hand, we are saying that we are a developing country. We have got around more than 30 million people under poverty line, below poverty line. Why are we investing so much or spending so much in infrastructure development?
Sir, I think one quote comes to my mind. It is like the America is not great because the roads are good, because it lays emphasis on the infrastructure development. It says that America is great because roads in America are great. So I think that is being replicated in India as well, because if India wants to become great, whether it is economically or other aspects, so I think infrastructure development is a very much requirement. It is the first step towards development, because unless and until we have good roads, good infrastructure, I don't think we could focus in other areas. So that is a pre-requirement for development.
What exactly would this lead to? Suppose, okay, I buy your idea of infrastructure development, but how exactly would it lead to development?
So one thing is connectivity. It will bring connectivity to remote areas, and it will also lead to development of industries along these expressways. And with that, it will lead to job creation, reduction in unemployment, and ultimately it will lead to improvement in the standard of living of people.
Okay, so you have studied zoology, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is this term called gain of function research?
Sir, I'm not sure about it, but I think it is related to the mutation process, because mutation, I have heard that mutation are of two types. One is loss of function and it is gain of function. So I think it might be in that area.
Yeah, you are right. So it is related to mutation. What actually scientists aim to achieve by this gain of function research?
So I think they are trying to ensure that even if a mutation is taking place in human body, in the gene, so that is not leading to a detrimental impact. Even if the mutation is happening, either it could be suppressed or it is leading to a positive outcome. So I think they are researching in that area.
Now with this concept, there is this allegation that the COVID-19 virus was the result of gain of function research and it leaked from the lab. It did not come from the bat, but it was basically a leaked virus from the lab. Do you agree to this allegation?
So I think unless and until we have concrete proof, it remains as an allegation, even if we are very much inclined towards blaming China for the leakage.
Do you have any idea? Have you read about any paper, any such articles alleging China of this leakage and basis that on which they are saying this?
So during the initial stage of COVID-19, there was a scientist from China who claimed that the virus was leaked from a Chinese lab in Wuhan. So I think that is the basis for this allegation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Arti.
Hello, sir.
Arti, you were born on a very prominent day.
Yes, sir.
Why is it celebrated in India?
Sir, currently it is being celebrated to accept the contribution of NRI people who are living outside India. The Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, it is being celebrated as that day from the past almost 20 decades. And recently we had a
20 decades?
20 years, sorry sir, 20 years. From 2003 we have been celebrating 9 January as a Pravasi Bharatiya Divas.
And why 9 January?
Sir, because it was on 9 January that Mahatma Gandhi returned to India from South Africa in 1915. That is why it is being celebrated as that.
Talking about Gandhiji, how would you think India would have been if Gandhiji would have never existed?
Sir, I think the nature of independence that India got would have been very much different from the current we have if Gandhiji was not there. Because now India is known for peaceful, for efforts like Satyagraha and non-violence. So these are what marks India's independence movement. So if Gandhiji was not have been there,
What have been?
then it would have been led to violence, large-scale violence would have been seen in
Already
India.
there was violence when we got independence.
But it was very much controlled under Gandhiji's rule or presence.
1947 violence was controlled.
Sir, I think it was not very much controlled, but if Gandhiji were not there, I think it would have been very much out of hand. It could have led to large-scale violence. Currently, it was only limited to the border areas like India-Pakistan and India-Bangladesh area. But if Gandhiji would not have been there, then the same violence could have been seen all over India.
Okay. You're from Rewari.
Yes, sir.
How would you link Rewari with Mahabharata?
Sir, Rewari got its name because of a king that belonged to Mahabharata period. There was a king named as Reva. His daughter was named Revati. So he named Rewari on her behalf because he loved her daughter so much that he named a region on her behalf called as Rewari. And apart from that, the brother of Sri Krishna, Balram, was married to Queen Revati. So that is one linkage to Mahabharata period.
And the place went to Mr. Balram. Yes, sir. In dowry.
Yes, sir.
Right. What is your opinion on dowry system?
So personally, I am against dowry system because even if it is good even if it is given in goodwill, even if a father is giving it out of his own will, but the impact it has on society, I don't think that is very much good. Even if a well-off father is giving his child gifts, but a poor father would think that, oh, there's a pressure that comes on that poor father, ki even if I'm not having that much resources, I will also give something to my daughter. So it leads to a chain. And that is a negative chain, sir. Vicious cycle, I would say that is.
And if you are, let's say, an SDM in Rewari, how would you want to remove dowry system? What contribution or policy would you make?
So I think currently we are seeing lack of, people are not coming out and registering dowry claims that someone is asking us dowry. So that awareness must be brought to their mind that if someone is asking for dowry, the first thing that they should is come out and complain to the particular authority.
Okay. What is your take on animal rights?
Sir, I think animal rights are very much out there, but still we need more strengthening of the rights and proper implementation of the current acts that we are having. Because even now we have a particular act for animal safety and animal rights.
When was it passed?
So I'm not aware of the year, but there is. So, but the implementation is lacking. They are not getting properly implemented because people are not aware that, oh, animals also have their own rights and they must be respected because they're also having life.
There have been a lot of instances where the rights of the animals are abused. They are kicked, they are tortured in various ways.
Yes, sir.
So what can be done to improve that or maybe to prevent it?
Sir, I think at personal level, we must promote ethics in the society because that is one thing. And apart from that, if such violence is seen on streets against stray animals like cows or dogs, then I think the authority, the local bodies, even if it is urban areas or local rural areas, that has a very much important role to come out and punish such individuals, whether it is monetary fine or imprisonment fine. And overall, I think the empathy of people is required against the animals, that if they also have life and we must respect these lives.
Okay, have you heard of Indore method then?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on.
Okay. Arti, you have opted second choice foreign service.
Yes, sir.
How you think should the strategy of India be in dealing with China?
Sir, I think 2-3 changes can take place. One is the border demarcation is not there. Proper demarcation of border must be done as soon as possible because that is what is being exploited by China because we have not a proper border. And using the salami tactics, China is pushing towards India.
One is border.
And second, I think ensuring diversification of its supply chain. India is very much dependent on China economically. So I think that could be done because for raw materials, for machinery also it is dependent on China. And unless and until we look for other avenues, I don't think we could move away from China.
What about dealing with BRI?
India has maintained its status that it is not accepting the BRI because it harms India's strategic autonomy as well as territorial integrity. So I think that status must be continued.
That is okay, but everybody else is accepting it.
Yes, sir, they can accept, it is their free will. But when it comes to India's autonomy and strategic,
But their acceptance will have an implication upon India also.
sir, unless and until the projects are not passing through India's territory, I think India can bear with BRI. But when it passes through POK and all these areas, then India obviously should protest such projects.
India should not worry at all if something is going on in Myanmar.
So I think it must, because then it is showing that India's neighbor are moving more closer to China.
Yes. What are epiphytes?
What are
Epiphytes.
epiphytes? So epiphytes are plants which grow on other plants. These are a kind of not parasitic, but in terms they are parasitic because they are dependent on other plants for their living.
Suppose we all hope that you get selected, you go to Lavasna. What kind of trees will you find in Mussoorie?
So I think the pine tree, deodar trees, these trees would be found there. Then there is rhododendron that is commonly found in that area of Uttarakhand.
Okay. Suppose you have to make a kitchen garden
Yes,
for a
sir.
school which is situated in a hill state, say Uttarakhand, hilly
Yes,
region of
sir.
Uttarakhand, a school is there. What all will you grow in that kitchen garden of school?
Sir, few things that comes to my mind is, one is lettuce that I will grow. Lettuce, spinach I could grow. Then there is coriander and mint that could be easily grown as kitchen gardens. And recently there has been push for microgreens because they are very rich in nutrients.
What about some local crops?
So local crops could be grown, but I'm not very much aware about the local crops.
What according to you is the reason that the representation of women in higher judiciary is so low?
So one is the early marriage of girls that we see. Even after so many decades of independence, we are still seeing child marriage instances. Second is that in families, especially in rural areas, not very much emphasis is given on the higher education of women. They are mainly felt suitable for household work. So that is there, the mindset of people is there. And third, I think the presence of infrastructure in higher education that is not very much suitable for girls. The good colleges are very much far away.
Thank you. Thank you.